All right, welcome, people. We are here in the game, our second episode, first episode that we're gonna talk about soccer, and we actually gonna talk about these semifinals that we have for the Champions League. A very interesting Champions League that we have after COVID. Only one knockout game that goes through to the next stage, and we have two interesting matches between Paris Saint Germain against Leipzig, RB Leipzig, and we also have in the other bracket we have Bayern Munich against very inexperienced Olympique de Lyon. And today we have a special guest. We have Mr. Ben Kelly Solomon.
Thank you. Psyched to be here.
So how are you doing, Ben? What do you think about these matches coming to the semifinals in the Champions League this year?
Oh man, I'm loving this Champions League so far. Even though I know a lot of people are thinking it's a really weird one, and I tend to agree. But as you can see, being a Bayern Munich fan has its privileges. What do I think about tonight? That's a great question. I think that Leipzig are going to really come through on this. I'm not really convinced with the PSG's ability and the where they got so far. They haven't really. It seems to me like it's by luck, and of course, let's not forget that Navas is wounded and he won't be there. And also their goalkeeper, what's his name? Ricani, what? I forgot. And I have to say that Nagelsmann and the boys look good, very attractive.
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting thing to mention this. Nagelsmann is a very inexperienced coach. We have to remember our audience that is 33 years old. So imagine
It's true.
to
And by
even
the
coach.
way, I'm not sure if you know this. He was actually working with Tuchel before. Was a scout, I think, for him.
Yeah, I believe they were working together in Dortmund, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so
agree.
it's interesting to see a very young coach having like a team with also like for example the goalkeeper which is Hungarian is I believe almost 40 years old. So imagine to
Yeah.
coach someone that is actually older than you. So it's kind of like interesting the way he's actually taking the team. He did like a very impressive step forward against Atletico Madrid that everybody was thinking that they were all the favorite to pass, and even there's a lot of people were talking about Atletico Madrid what's going to be this year in the Champions League. That
Mm-hmm.
Champions League kind of like owns them this championship, especially because they didn't have like their beast to beat Atletico. Or, like they didn't have
Right.
Juventus in the competition, Real Madrid in the competition, so they have also the prettiest path to go through to the finals. And at the end, Nagelsmann like he showed to the world that he actually is also a very good coach and with very good tactics. And even without the best player that they used to have in the year, which is Timo Werner, and they still won that game very like decisive to take it. So it was very
Right.
impressive. So I know that a lot of people say that Paris Saint Germain is the favorite one because obviously they have Neymar and they have Mbappe, which are one of the best or top five players. But
Yeah,
it's
but they
interesting
haven't
what's going to
shown
happen.
us really like convincing abilities so far, especially Neymar, which, if you ask me personally, I believe is overrated. You know. But yeah, that's just me. I have a little love to the Brazilians.
I
Sorry
understand. I
if you're watching
understand.
this and you are Brazilian, but
I,
being a all-out Germany and Bayern fan, yeah, what can I say?
so who do you think that is going to qualify to the finals in this match?
Ooh, so tonight, as I mentioned, since I think Leipzig are going to go through. I'm not saying easy. It's all about getting ready, and it's a tough team to get ready to. I have to say, and that's one thing that I think Tuchel knows it. He said it himself. I think in one of his latest interviews and I totally agree with him. One of the most interesting um, things about Leipzig is that um, they're changing their game plan through the game. They're very dynamic. Some teams they come 4-4-2, whatever, and they're going to stick to it. We're going to defend and go on like
Counter-attack.
quick sneak attacks, counter attacks, and I think Leipzig is a team that can, start in a certain strategy, sees that it doesn't work, change it through the match. It will be interesting to see what Tuchel has planned for this. Um,
Would you
I
like to
think
adventure in a score?
in a score, how about 3-1
Three
Leipzig
one.
or 2-1? Yeah. One.
Okay, so we have also the other on the other bracket after knowing Ben's result. So we have in the other bracket the Bayern Munich against Olympique de Lyon.
Mm-hmm.
And so we both know that Bayern Munich is going as favorite in this game. But what do you have to say about this game? Like,
Well, as someone who predicts from the heart and not from the mind, naturally I pick Bayern, and I do believe that they're the best team in Europe right now, which is what the Champions League is all about. However, having said that, what we saw with Barca is not going to be here again. I think that unlike Barca, who was already having its faults in the machine coming into the match, it's different. Lyon have a good defense and tactical discipline, and also a strong offense. And that's something that I think Bayern's going to have to play differently here. Um, Also, don't forget, after all, it's a team that they're not a pushover. They kicked out Juve and Manchester City, and this is speaking for itself, I think. But I see Bayern moving into the final, which will probably be, as I said, Leipzig against Bayern. Nice German final. Um, Predictions for that match?
so before going to the prediction
I don't know.
and also understand or what would be your score on this game, let's also
Hmm.
remember that as you mentioned, like Olympique de Lyon is eliminated like two very strong teams, potentially to also to be on the finals or even like win this championship. The first one
No
was
doubt.
Juve, that
Yeah, with the best player in the world.
of course, Dybala.
Cristiano Ronaldo is my all-time favorite. I really hope one of my dreams is which will never come true, as you know, is the fact that to see him and Messi in the same team. It's going to be really weird if it ever happens, but there's a small chance it will happen if Barca is going to wise up and pick up his contract, which I understand is up for grabs right now.
Yeah, well, we're probably gonna have another episode that more focus on what's going to happen in Barcelona at this moment. But going back to Olympique de Lyon, that as mentioned before, like went through to beating Juventus, beating
Mm-hmm.
Manchester City.
Mm-hmm.
So as you mentioned also before, they have like a very strong and disciplined defense. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious that I think. Rudy Garcia, which is the coach from Olympique de Lyon, is probably going to apply the same tactics in this game because they know what Bayern are capable of doing. Like they saw
Yes.
the machine that they did against Barcelona, the humiliation they did against them. So I'm pretty sure that they
Hmm.
already won on this on this game, and it's a knockout. So like there's
That's
no
true.
two games that they can play in a different way to see what happens on the second game. It's only one game elimination, and that's it. So and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna go in a counterattack whenever they are able to do it. I don't think like Bayer has the best defense in Europe at this moment. They do have
That's
like
right.
a pretty decent midfield and obviously like a very strong offense like with Lewandowski that is so far I think has scored 54 goals in the whole season
And
and which is
also,
pretty
I have to
amazing.
say that I think their defense, while not perhaps being the strongest defensively, uh, manufactures amazing offenses. I mean, if you look at the goal from what was it? I think it was the sixth one or the seventh one. One of the last goals there, which was totally a duo between two defensive players. Who was it? Was it
Exactly. We have
Davis and
Alfonso Davis that went to
yeah,
as a winger, and
yeah,
even
right.
Kimmich also came to which he was playing as a right defender.
And that was
Uh,
an amazing tactical goal. Of course, amazing like private show from Davis there. But yeah, so I'm not that worried. But like most team who come in, after such an amazing win, they are their own worst enemies, right? They got everything to lose, and if you come into this with your head not in the right mindset, thinking that you're like on top of the world and you got it in the bag, more often than not, we see big teams making these mistakes. But from what I know in Hansi Flick, I don't think makes this kind of mistake. He doesn't. If you saw also, you remember the end of the game of the quarterfinals. He wasn't all like celebrating the big win on Barca. No, he knows he has his work cut out for him, and from what I see, the team is super focused. I believe they'll be able to go past Lyon and hopefully, even all the way.
would you consider that if Bayern Munich doesn't win this championship, it will be considered as a failure? Even if he loses to tomorrow against Olympique de Lyon, would you consider it
Yes,
like as a failure?
yes,
All right.
of course. And I'll tell you why it's such a strong yes. It's because um, it's not something that I think is beyond them. I believe that the ability they've shown us so far is something that it, as I said earlier, they have everything to lose. So it's up to them. And if you also look at how they show the show of force in the league and other titles that they already picked this year, if they won't win this one as well, it would be for myself as a fan, and I believe for them also a huge disappointment because they truly deserve it. I do think they're the best team in Europe.
So what would be the score for tomorrow's game?
It's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be, I think, a small win. I hope, you can always dream of a game full of goals like the 10 goals we saw in the quarterfinals. Um, but yeah, probably a small win. It's 2-1 or 1-0, something like that. It's going to be a lot of both teams will be cautious of taking risk, I think.
Okay, so by saying that, so basically we will probably have like a German final in the Champions League, and
Hmm.
knowing you're being Bayern Munich fan, so I'm assuming that you'll go all the way to win this championship. If I'm not mistaken, will be the sixth Champions League that Bayern will take.
For Champions League.
Yeah, they have. I think they have the same amount of Champions League that Barcelona has.
I'm not sure, but I think you're right. I think you're right. It's easy to look it up, anyways. But yeah, I think you're right, and I think it's gonna be like their fourth title this year so far. Amazing year they're having, really. But I can also give you like an example of what I meant with being your own worst enemy. Is the first goal that they scored to themselves was you got to keep focused, man. Keep focus, and Lyon is coming there, I think, in their prime. So really give it all you got from the first minute. Don't do stupid mistakes. Keep your cool, and try and still sneak attacks whenever they come in.
All right. So thank you very much for today, and I want
Of
to
course.
thank everyone that is following us. If you have any questions, you can just leave some comments on the channel. If you like the video, so hit the likes and subscribe to the channel, and more episodes will come the following days. So Ben, thank you very much to being with me today in the game, and
Thank
see
you.
you next
Pleasure
time.
talking to you. Next time, man. Let's
All
have a
right,
good
bye.
game. Bye.